Good afternoon, everybody. Is everybody all set up, ready to go? Thanks so much for coming out. Sure, go ahead.
So, this is quick. I wanted to get the information out. I just got some information on what happened last night at Queen Creek, around 9 o'clock last night, and a neighbor saw a car backed up in front of the home where the deceased were found. And the address, I'll give it to you, 17732 East Prescott Place, Queen Creek. Saw a vehicle, a hose from the exhaust into a window of that residence. We were alerted to that. Our deputies arrived, saw no movement in the house. Did smell carbon monoxide. Actually, they had to put up some gear to protect themselves. When the detectives, homicide sheriff's detectives, walked in the house, they saw 3 bodies. They were later deceased, but in the initial contact, we didn't have that information, naturally, but we did find that they were deceased. They were shot with a handgun. There was 3 victims. One was Lisa Gerhardt. She was a mother of 2 young people, 1 juvenile, 17 years old, 1 juvenile, female, was 12 years old. We did recover a handgun in the proximity of the mother. We're almost sure this is a murder-suicide, but we haven't closed the case because we still have autopsies to do. We want to check computers, telephones, all that type of possible evidence. But it looks like right now murder-suicide, so I'm still a little careful of what we say in the event that somebody else was involved in the deaths of a mother and 2 children. Possibly there could be family problems. I'm not going to get into that. Could be domestic violence. But once again, we're looking at other aspects to make sure we get the correct evidence and conclusion to this sad situation where you have 2 young people killed and the mother also by gunshot. So I can't tell you much more right now, but I think in general terms you have probably what's going on. And I'm going to say again, we're leaving that little part open just in case that someone else could have caused these 3 deaths. Yes?
Do you have the age of the mother?
What?
The age of the mother?
I didn't hear you.
The age?
The mother's about 45, 46.
Would you have the spelling of the name, Sheriff?
Of the mother?
Yes.
Yes. It's Gerhart, and the first name is Lisa.
Does Dad still live in the house, and have you questioned him?
I believe the dad is separated. The dad may have showed up. I'm not sure. But they are separated, that we found out so far.
Do they have any other children?
I don't believe they do. Right now we know about the 17-year-old and the 12-year-old. I don't know if I said it to begin with. The 17-year-old is a boy and the 12-year-old is a girl.
Sheriff, would there be any reason why there'd be gunshots plus the carbon monoxide? You really gave two potential causes of death there.
You know, that's a good question. I'm not a scientific type of guy. Could be one theory that the exhaust could, I don't know, calm down or calm the victims, or maybe a double shot that makes sure they're dead. But that's a very strange situation when you have a car that was parked and the hose going into the house. I believe this is a double-decker home. It'd be pretty difficult for people to die unless you seal the house up. So right now we don't know why. We can just surmise. Unfortunately, we can't talk to the mother or the two kids. They're deceased, so we can only speculate why. And it is very unusual for this type of situation to have the car with a hose and then have the bullets, shot. So shoot a gun. It's a handgun. I will say that. It wasn't an automatic weapon, and there wasn't that many bullets that were shot. Maybe one for each body.
Do you know where they were shot on their persons?
I don't have that right now. One reason I'm a little reluctant to say too much, just in case there's that one slight possibility that maybe someone else could have done it, and we don't like to give too much information out. You can understand why. But I think we're pretty confident it's a murder-suicide.
Did neighbors hear shots fired?
The what?
Did neighbors hear shots fired?
Well, our guys were called because of a complaint from the neighbors. That's how we showed up.
Because they saw the vehicle?
Yes.
Has the father of the children been notified?
Yes.
What did he say to investigators?
I don't know.
What was said when that 911 call was first made?
The what?
What was reported to 911 initially? Someone saw the vehicle?
I believe so, that something caused the suspicion of a neighbor, and it could have been that car parked with a hose going through a window. That's very unusual. And our deputies responded, went into the house, found the bodies, and continued the investigation of the cause of death. Right now we have to have autopsies to seal this. This is preliminary now. So I'm not trying to avoid you. I'm just trying to bring you up to what we know so far.
Sheriff, have you guys responded to that house before?
I'm not sure. It is a nice neighborhood, I hear. And I know that there possibility could be a separation between the husband and the wife. I don't have all the domestic type answers right now.
But as far as you know, you haven't responded to a domestic situation at that house before?
I'm not sure. Could be. We're checking that too. We're checking computers, we're checking telephones, and also naturally the technical part and the autopsy and all that. So it's not over yet.
From the time last night, you said 9 o'clock, and then we were notified, I think, around noon today of your investigation. You guys usually call us out a little sooner. How come so much time lapsed? Is that because of the carbon monoxide in the house and having to clear that out? Or
Call who out?
like notifying the media? Usually you guys put it on our radar much sooner. So I'm just curious, the time from 9 last night until noon today, was it safety or just investigative?
Well, I get people go after me because I call the media all the time. This is one. No, we were just working this. We didn't call the media. Someone showed up. It wasn't not because we were trying to hide, but we knew it would be a complex investigation when you see what's in the house. So, not that we were trying to keep the media away, but they did show up anyway. But we wanted to make sure we had enough information to give to you, and right now, this is what we have. I just learned about this about 20 minutes ago, and we like to be accurate. I do, and get the right information to feed to you. So it had nothing, the media wasn't in our mind at the time.
I get more what I'm getting at is if there was a longer amount of time just because of the carbon monoxide in the house, did it take, quite a bit longer for that to clear, for it to even be safer?
No, I wouldn't want the media to get hurt, but no, that wasn't the answer because, you guys respond to fires and shootings and everything else. That had no bearing. We just wanted to get this thing initiated and get it done, and it takes time. You just can't go in there and take the bodies out. It takes a lot of time to look at the crime scene and try to get the accurate information. And I'm sorry that you didn't get much information there, but we didn't have much to give you. Now we have a little more I can talk about.
Sheriff, can you just talk about how disturbing it is for the deputies and the investigators to go into a crime scene like that and see a mom and 2 kids?
Well, it's sad. Many of our deputies, including myself, are married and have children. But we have a job to do. I don't know if you ever get used to it, but here we're talking about a 12-year-old and a 17-year-old. Every life is precious, whether you're 84 or you're 12 or 2 or what have you. There was a dog in there too, a pet. I believe the dog is okay. But it's a sad situation. Domestic violence is really something that we have to look into to try to do something about. I think this could be called domestic violence, even though it wasn't a husband against the wife, but you have the mother that probably was the shooter, the mother, and the 2 kids, and maybe problems with the family, and so that's a big problem facing our county and our country is domestic violence.
What words do you have for friends, other family members of this family just learning about this news as far as you guys moving forward with the investigation?
Did you say, did we notify the family?
No, what words do you have for anybody that's just learning about their friend or possible family member involved in this?
Is it possible that little part we're saying, that little part that maybe it would not be a murder-suicide? Is that what you're asking? Mm-hmm. Who it could be? We're not sure right now if that's the case, but we got to keep that open. You never know.
How closely are you looking at the dad?
Well, I don't know who we're looking at now, but it could be just about anybody.
How many witnesses are you working with? Possible witnesses?
Suspects or witnesses?
Witnesses.
Well,
People that may have heard or saw.
I'm sure we're talking to family members. I don't know how many. I'm sure we're talking to the neighbors, whoever we can talk to. I just don't want to give the impression that it's a murder, not a murder-suicide. But once again, You always have to look at everything, and we may get more information when you do the autopsies, and, you know, all the people have computers now, cell phones, so we want to search that equipment to see if we get some information that could lead to the 100% conclusion of this case.
Sheriff, can you one more time please confirm the age and genders of the victims?
The girl, the little girl is 12, and the male is 17, and the mother is about 45.
Sheriff, was there any indication that the children may have known what was coming, or if they resisted in any way, or
Don't know, they were just...
surprised, you know, one way or the other?
Once again, we have to look at the autopsies, but we know that they were shot with a small weapon.
All in the same room?
Pardon?
All in the same room, their bodies were?
I think the mother was somewhere else, and I'm not going to say where, just in case that 1% somebody's out there. And the kids, I believe, were upstairs.
In the same room?
I'm not sure.
Sheriff, do you know if there's a history of domestic violence with this family?
Don't know right now. We'll be researching that.
Are you able to tell at all how long the car had been pumping gas into the house?
Don't know. I mean, we can get that timeline probably. Well, we really don't know because we were called, and I don't know how long that hose was in that window, which is somewhat bizarre in a way.
Did deputies have to wear any kind of special hazmat gear to go into the house?
I believe they did when they had the smell to protect themselves too. But the bodies were already deceased when they got in there.
It must be frustrating for the deputies that they could not do anything for those kids.
Yeah, we're out here to save lives and do whatever we can to protect the public. But I've been around in law enforcement, 55 years. I just got back from Ohio there, and I saw an army of cops. And there's been a lot of situations going on, war on cops that I've been saying. But it looks like we're living in a world now of violence. I mean, this isn't the first time you see murder-suicides. I mean, we've done some in another area where more senior people live, too. So it's sad that this is occurring, that people are killing each other and taking their own lives. And even when you have violence with cops, and the suspects sometimes kill themselves too, you know. I'm not comparing this situation with that, but we're talking about violence across our nation and in Phoenix too. So it's sad. I don't know what's going on. But domestic violence is a very, very sad situation.
Could you spell Mom's last name one more time, the spelling on Mom's
It's
Sorry.
It's Gerhardt, Gerheart. Lisa.
Do you think all that carbon monoxide was lingering in there until the deputies were able to get inside that house?
We don't know.
Any more questions?
Anyway, I'm sorry I gave you what we have up to date, which I think is, you know, pretty probably enough to really give you the facts that we have it. And if there's follow-up, we'll let you know.
Is there a number of people could call? I mean, you know, you might still be open to receiving information, right?
What number can I call?
What?
You mean people to give information to our office?
People wanted to give you information about this family situation.
Yeah.